Hey everybody, Jerry Strike here. Thank you so much for attending our video related to the 2020 FEMA grant that the Minnesota State Fire Department Association received related to recruitment. So over the next 50 minutes or so, I'm going to go over some introductory stuff on the grant, talk about the resources we currently have developed statewide, and then talk about how you can receive all of those benefits by being a member of the MSFDA, and to include up to $3,000 for personal protective equipment per candidate and $245 for each NFPA health screen that's provided to that candidate per candidate. So let's walk through the program and let's see what this thing's all about. So my name's Jerry Strike. I am the CEO of Capstone Public Sector Solutions. We have since 2013 primarily focused on training component. So any of those specialty training programs of investigations, inspections, leadership, management, officer style development, or organizational design issues, complex personnel issues, we have been teaching those around the country. We also focus on strategic planning, grant management, organizational design and development, such as your fire department reorg or joining teams to become a department or a district. That's what we focus on. I've been in the business of the fire service for 32 years. I left the military as a combat medic and then went into the reserve component for a number of years and also worked in the fire department. I've been on 5 departments in my career. I've been a chief officer almost 20 years, but of those 32 years, 14 of those years have been in a career position as a fire chief in 2 metro departments, including one of the largest fire districts in the state at its time. I've also helped develop the fire academies, the largest fire academy in the state of Minnesota, all the way to fire investigation teams, blah, blah, blah. I feel that I have a pretty good perspective on the Minnesota Fire Service, and I want to continue to help you on the recruitment side. My background, really, when I went to college, is basically in human resources and organizational design. So getting an organizational design well enough to hire people and onboard them successfully over a period of time. Also joining us on a regular basis, because this grant is a 4-year grant. So anything that's happened after December 20th, 2020, you can reap the benefits from. So Natalie is our social media marketer. She has graduated from Eau Claire, Wisconsin, a 4-year degree in social media marketing, sales kind of stuff. She was fortunate enough to receive an internship with Walt Disney in Florida, where she went through their leadership program and stayed there for, I don't know, it was a semester or whatever, to learn the ropes of probably one of the best marketing firms that we know of in our country, right? Walt Disney is the epitome of customer service. And if you know the underground story of that, it's amazing what they do to keep people happy and keep them coming back. But her job is to focus on all that social media stuff that you see online, our website and so on. She creates the posts, she searches for your posts, and she sends them out and tries to get more people attracted to our site so that we can work for you, so that you can find people when you're at work or wherever you are. So let's talk about the grant details. So there's $1.4 million that's going to the fire departments in Minnesota. There's 778 fire departments in Minnesota. Of those, 1,550 maybe have a job doing it. So they're career firefighters. The rest of us are paid on-call volunteer type. But the focus is on volunteer and combination fire departments. Volunteer are those departments receive either a stipend or no money for doing the job. Thank you. And a combination department are those departments that have at least one full-timer. And those full-timers typically end up being like a fire chief or a fire marshal, fire inspector kind of individual. But in order to receive these funding mechanisms through this grant over the next 4 years, you're required to be a member of the MSFDA. Well, how do you become a member of the MSFDA? Well, you go on their msfda.org website and you click on membership and you sign up. I don't know what the fees are, but I do know this. If you receive one PPE reimbursement of $3,000, it's likely going to pay for many years of work, of membership for you. So we're going to not only distribute up to 600 sets of turnout gear for free and 600 health screens for free. We built a statewide marketing campaign that we manage every day. And this is about reviewing analytics, target marketing areas, and so on, which we'll get into in a little bit. But we also want to standardize some hiring processes and practices. We want to get in the mode of helping our departments that are unable to have policies and procedures developed. Just help you understand the hiring process, some of the things that can get you in trouble, some things that can help you become a better recruiter in your area, and to target market people. All right, and then as we get towards the tail end or even in the middle of this grant, we're in the first year right now, but we will end up marketing the Minnesota Fire Service. There hasn't been a time that I can remember in my career, other than a legislative report that was done, a legislative audit that was done. Boy, that had to be the early 90s when the legislative auditors talked about the Minnesota Fire Service. And I think now more than other, we need to do that again. Because I don't know that our elected and public officials understand truly the sacrifices our people give and what has changed in our society that makes it more difficult for someone to make a percentage or to show up every time there's a call. Not only that, we're going on calls that we didn't go on years ago. I mean, when I was started in the late 80s, we didn't go on medical calls unless they were pinched in a car or or flown out of a vehicle or smashed their motorcycle into something, right? Now we're going to lift assists and bleeding tattoo scabs and not feeling well. And we really need to talk about that because that's having an impact on the firefighters overall. So that leads into what is the recruitment problem, and do we have a recruitment problem? I mean, people are not aware they can become part of your fire department. And the only way they'll know that is if we market it. And the reason I say that people aren't aware is because I've managed a previous $1 million grant focused on 15 fire departments in a specific area. And we asked 75% of those who actually became a firefighter if they knew they could become a firefighter. And how they found out? Well, they found out by searching the web, and they found out by basically Googling and finding out what the Minnesota Fire Service is about. So if we're not letting people know how they can become a firefighter, well, we're not really doing our job, right? We're not marketing our position well enough. So I always ask, do we have a recruitment problem or do we have a marketing problem? Now, don't get me wrong. I understand that some of the areas in our state, all the way up to the tip of the arrowhead, all the way down to the Iowa border, east and west, there are departments that have a recruitment problem. And that problem is their cities are shrinking, people are moving out, they're aging, whatever it is, there's a problem. But majority of the state may have a marketing problem. particularly in the metro where we have tens of thousands of people in a community and we're saying there's a recruitment problem. I haven't experienced that, and I spent a lot of years as a chief of several big cities, and I didn't experience a recruitment problem. I experienced a recruitment effort. Now, I want you to look inside your fire department and ask yourself, are you doing a good enough job to making it all inclusive? Is everybody welcome? Or is this the club that, you know, we've hung around these same guys, we went through the same probationary period, and now we're all chief officers and no one's going to come into our club? I mean, be real about it. It's hard to say there's a recruitment problem, but then look inside your department and realize you're not all inclusive. You're not open to anybody coming in, whatever their gender, race, sex, whatever it is. Because we're missing 50% of the hiring pool. Most of us are. One of the best ways to retire for me, and one of, a big compliment was when the MSFDA gave the Andover Fire Department the Fire Department of the Year award. And one of the reasons they gave the Fire Department of the Year award was because 30% of our staff were female, which was a strategic marketing plan on my behalf. When I arrived to Andover, it was pretty clear to me that we had some strong females in the department already. Well, let's capitalize on that and see how many more we could get. And at the time that I left, I believe it was close to 30%, if not 30% or more, were female firefighters. Now that's huge. So are you all inclusive? Are your policies and procedures in place to minimize harassment and dirty jokes and hazing and bullying and all that kind of stuff? If not, you'll probably always have trouble recruiting. If you need help with that, call me. You can hit the reset button at any time. But if you're a chief officer and you're wondering if there's a recruitment problem or why there's a recruitment problem, first we look in-house and see if what people are seeing on the outside is exactly what's happening on the inside. Because they're seeing superstars going to fire scenes and medicals, and then they are coming inside and seeing a different side. So we don't provide an easy path to join the team. Many of you don't have a social media platform or even a website. You have your mailing address is a post office. Of the 600, let's say 600 members of the MSFDA, the oldest organization representing fire departments, they've been around since 1873. So they represent 600 of the 700 plus fire departments. 340 of them have a post office box as their mailing address. And I get it. It either goes to a store or to a post office. But if I'm Googling you and I'm searching for you and you don't have a social media platform or something for the web crawlers to grab onto to give me that information, I'm going to the store. I'm not going to the fire station. And when I go to the fire station, nobody's there. And there's no sign that says how I can apply. So these are things that we know. We lose track of applications. We don't have a good management system. We don't recruit ahead of time. We are a reactionary force. We're not predicting the issues that are about to come in our fire service, meaning we don't sit down with our firefighters and say, hey, John, hey, Sue, when do you plan to retire? Or how's things going in your life? Do you see yourself staying here 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 20 years? Where do you see yourself now? Because we want to prepare for your exit. Not that we don't want to push you out, and we never will, but I need to know if 2 years from now, 5 of you are leaving, I have to prepare for that. And I have to be proactive in my approach to marketing to get people involved. You know, when I became a fire chief, the perception of the fire chief in my head back in the day was much different than what it is today. A fire chief is a I'm going to say can be a very thankless job. It's when you move up the ladder and everything that you love to do, you're not really doing anymore. But then at times, you know, you get thrown in the fire and people forget you're a firefighter too. And it just, you know, it just isn't always that much fun. However, it can be a lot of fun because when your team is in sync and everything's going on and you can provide the oil to keep that machine going, I tell you what, I've seen a lot of super people do super things and achieve super things, including full-time positions and saving lives, and he simply is climbing a ladder that they never thought they could climb because they're afraid of heights, right? But as a chief, I never thought that it would include 30% of my time would be recruiting, hiring, interviewing, onboarding, training, and exiting people, right? I mean, who teaches us to do that? Nobody. I went to college for it. They never taught me how to do it, right? They never taught us how to deal with the challenging issues that we're faced with personnel, let alone hiring. So we want to implement through this grant, at least 4 classes a year that you can attend for free, where Natalie and I and maybe others will sit down and talk about how to properly hire and retain firefighters. And we'll give you the tools to do it. So is there a recruitment problem or is there a marketing problem? So what's the solution? Well, based on our research and based on the things that we've done with previous grants, one is we want to make everybody a recruiter in Minnesota. We want to implement resources that people know where to go to become a firefighter. Why do I have to search the uptown fire department and look to see how to become a firefighter? Why can't everybody just say, go to minnesotafirehire.com or .org and you'll be able to find out how to become a firefighter? In fact, there's people waiting there that'll answer your questions. You can go to State Fire Marshal's website and you'll see how to become a firefighter now on the front page, which is super awesome. Never been done before. And they click on it. It comes to the MSFDA site, Minnesota Fire Hire, and everybody becomes a recruiter. All firefighters should become recruiters. All firefighters should know what to say when somebody says, how do I become a firefighter, right? We don't have those classes. Why not? We should be replacing our own locker. There's a ton of stories in those lockers. There's a lot of grit and stink and happiness and success and challenges in those lockers. And we just leave it open? I don't know. I think firefighters have the responsibility to ensure before they leave that they fill their locker. Do your best. We've purchased over 300 t-shirts so far that say they have a pretty cool emblem on the back of them that says, ask me how I became a Minnesota firefighter. And if you wear that shirt and people come up with you, because I know they will come up to you, you need to know what to say. It's not call the chief. It's no, go to Minnesota Fire Hire. It's a firefighter run program from the oldest association representing firefighters. Let them know that you're interested and let them connect you with your fire chief, right? Let them answer your questions. We can do it all. We're all pretty much the same when it comes to recruiting. We all do the same thing when it comes to firefighting for the most part. Some differences if I have a lake or a river and others don't, but that isn't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about serving your community. So we built a website that gives people an idea of what firefighters do and what it is, and I'll show you that in a bit. We want to standardize the recruitment practices. We're working with the League of Minnesota Cities, trying to get them involved in some us sharing their documents, which is what they've allowed. We're also hoping to create some videos soon with them, sort of best practices for interviewing and onboarding candidates and just giving you a really good perspective on the hiring process. But more importantly, giving you support. I mean, if you need support, you call us. I'll help you. I'll talk to you all day if I need to help you become a better recruiter. right? I get it. You're a fire chief or you're a recruitment officer and you've never done it before, but it's a big responsibility. It's huge. You're trying to determine who this person is in a matter of 30 minutes. And will they fit in with our culture and be a productive, engaged employee? I get it. Don't be afraid to call us. This is what it's all about. We use social media marketing and we target areas. We know who's clicking in your area right now. We have a very in-depth analytical system that tells us who's clicking on what posts and when. We know what post is working and what isn't. What post is attracting more people and what isn't. And so we want to keep you engaged on that, and we want to show you what that's all about. If you don't have a social media platform, we can help you build one. We are going to have some classes. In that class, we're going to show people how to build a platform, but we're also willing to help you. Some may come at a cost, but if you need help doing it, let us know and we'll tell you what it's all about. We're going to use marketing, display boards, brochures, all kinds of stuff that's typical, but we're trying to hit all of the generations. Now, what does that mean? Well, if you were born in the baby boomer generation, you're more apt to look at ads and paper stuff, TV, commercials, cable, and so on. If you're a Gen Xer, you are probably in your 50s now, 40s, late 40s and 50s. You are more of an entrepreneur spirit. You are using technology. You are on Facebook and Instagram, probably following your kids. The millennials are the ones using most of the Facebook accounts now, sharing information because Facebook is now connected to Instagram. Instagram is more their short video kind of application. But we use a broad marketing perspective to attract people to our site. This site generates no income. This site does nothing but provide resources to you, the firefighter. Okay? We're going to help you with your PPE, like we said, and your health screens. And I want to take a minute just to talk about that. So, hiring people is expensive, and I have heard over the years of people who have been on 8-10 years that are still wearing the crappy gear that they were given, used gear, when they came on. Well, if you hire a new person after December 20th, 2020, and they are part of your department now, we'll pay for their gear. We'll reimburse you for their gear. So, well, I don't buy gear until we know they're on board. Well, if you want to wait a year, you can. I think you buy the gear, get them in new gear because it's free for the most part. You buy the gear through the vendor you normally buy gear for. We don't care what type of gear it is. It has to be NFPA compliant. We don't care what type of gear it is. But turn those invoices into Dee Dee, the executive director of the MSFDA, and it goes through a process to get reimbursed. In order to get reimbursed, that candidate has to have a health screen. An NFPA 1582 health screen. We have that online at MSFDA 2. You can see how all that works, which is simple. You turn in the form to the doctor, they sign it off, up, done. And then get them new gear. It's helmet, hood, mask, SCBA mask, jacket, gloves, pants, and boots. Up to $3,000 will be reimbursed. Turn in your invoice. Go to msfda.org, find the forms, click on the Safer Grant profile, and you'll see it. The health screen is the same thing. It's reimbursable. You have to be a member of the MSFDA. You could turn in 6 sets if you have 6 candidates. We'll do our best to give you as much as we can. But there's a bunch of departments that are trying to get this money. If you act quickly, you'll get the money. I mean, I think as I'm shooting this video right now in June to post, because we've been holding multiple classes a week, as I post this in June, we may have 85, 90 departments that have watched the video and are participating in the FEMA program. It's not a lot of competition. Some of them are getting all their stuff reimbursed because they're paying attention and they're following the process. It's free money. And if you don't want the free money, then don't get it. But then that's fine. You're just going to have to find ways to pay for your own gear. So how it works. This is how it works. We help you find the candidates. If you need new ways to find candidates, if you want to build new processes to build candidates in your area, you let us know. We're here. We're here. We've got everything connected to our mobile devices. We've got it connected to our computers. When bing, all the notifications. We see right away we can see who's on our site or what's on our site. People are interacting with our site live. And we can see when they're not. We have a pretty good scope right now. We're getting through summer and COVID's over now. Well, the mask is off. I'm not saying it's over, because we may have a bigger impact coming. But everybody's out, so we know that our site is being visited fewer times than normal. But it's summer, right? So we help you find the candidates. We talk to people on the phone. We have an 800 number established, 844-MN Fire Hire. MN for Minnesota, obviously. I just call it Minnesota Fire Hire, right? mnfirehire.com. And we answer the questions for them. I have talked to candidates a couple times a week where they are asking all kinds of questions. And we're trying to get them to your department for you. We help them apply. That may mean we shoot them an application. It may not look like your application, but we get them an application right away. We get them to fill it out with basically all of the information any other community would ask. You get the application, if we get one, and we say, hey, we have somebody that's interested in being a firefighter in your area. And that's when you should jump on board and you should be acting as quickly as possible to ensure that you understand what the Minnesota Fire Hire process is and that this is basically a lead. You get them trained. Minnesota Board of Firefighter Training and Education. I see Steve and crew all the time at these meetings, and they're scratching to give money away. I mean, they've got millions of dollars they're trying to just give to you. You want training? We'll give it to you. You want some national speaker or some expert to come in and talk? We can give you $5,000 in grants. You know, I hear them talk about it all the time, but the challenge I'm hearing they're having is people aren't engaged. They're not using the money that's allotted to them per firefighter. They're not using the money to get reimbursed for that. So that money goes back into a big pool and gets redistributed. Now, let me tell you something. This money didn't come freely. Fire officials had to legislate, had to build consensus, had to go on the front lines and say, we need money, we need money. Then they give us, the policymakers give us all this money, and then all of a sudden we end up with a big pool of money, and they're looking at us saying, well, I thought you said you needed money. Because we would expect if you needed it that badly, you would come back to us and ask for more, but it looks like you got a big pot of money. We're going to use that to build a widget, you know, and then they take it from us. So use that money. There's a lot of ways to get money for free if you're paying attention. You're going to get the candidates graduated from their school, Fire 1, 2, whatever it is. And then you're going to onboard them, assign them a mentor, get them into your agency, make them feel welcome, get them on calls, get them excited, high five them, all that kind of stuff. So that's essentially how it works. Here's some of the website stuff, sort of the feel. We call it our brand. This is our branding feel. This is what we use on our website, social media, handouts, and so on. We do have a very strong social media platform. We've had it for a long time, like since 2012 or 11, we've had the website rocking and rolling. We just got a notification, and I congratulated Natalie. Google stated it made the top of their list for searching Minnesota firefighters. So congrats. So we're making an impact, and over time it'll continue to climb up the site as we do more and more blogs and everything else. But social media is really where people are getting their information. And believe it or not, 93%, this is from the Pew Research Facebook, 93% of our Generation Zs, and likely a lot of our millennials, are receiving their news from Facebook. And this is the challenge, right? Because we know that there has been sort of a eye-opening idea that there's a lot of fake news out there, and it's in the palm of your hands, and people are looking at their phones at least 2-3 hours a day, and they're getting this stuff put in their minds, and is it good or is it not? But at any rate, we know that of the 5.5 million Minnesotans that reside in our state, over 4 million of them have a Facebook account. So we target Facebook like crazy. In fact, we spend money to market people. If your city's having trouble finding candidates, you need to call Natalie and say, hey, how can I use some of this marketing funding or some of your effort to help target the Facebook feeds of those in my area and let them know we're hiring, and we can help you. We would likely not just hit you, but we would hit your region, and we would target it. In fact, there was a county not long ago who does a county-wide recruitment day. I love it. They recruit as a county. They open up their fire stations. If you want to be a firefighter, you come to our town, go to your local fire station, we'll tell you how to do it. And we targeted that, and that was pretty cool. Facebook owns Instagram. We know that there's 107 million users in the United States, and over 1 million of those users are in our state, and that continues to grow. So we use social media marketing to our advantage, and it works. On our website, which I'll show you, there is a mapping feature where you type in an address in the map, and that map then shows you by these little flags the closest fire station to your home, and we're going to end up going there soon. The website has on your left this dark gray area. This is what people fill out if they want to become a firefighter. And on the right is what Natalie and I see on the back end. This is a real one. Randall wanted to be a firefighter in Alexandria. So he said, hey, thanks for contacting us. If you want to be a firefighter, contact Chief Carl. Give him a call. If not, contact us, and we'll help you out. So we keep in touch with them as soon as they contact us. So here's some marketing campaign information. All of this has been uploaded in the back end of our website, which we're working on. The back end of the website allows MSFDA members to get added features, videos, upload files, pictures, and so on. We're actually converting that away from the Minnesota Fire Hire site and onto the MSFDA site, because we found that you all go to the MSFDA site. You don't go to the Minnesota Fire Hire site. So we want to keep you going to the membership site. More to that to come. So we're doing live events. We do live Facebook feeds. We're going to fairs. We're coming up on the Isani Rodeo soon, the state fair, county fairs, and those kinds of things. And try to hand out materials so that you can get the benefit of that, and we connect people with the Minnesota Fire Service. So here's how you can help and how you can become part of this. One is, remember that map that I talked about, and we'll get into that. We need a list of all your fire station addresses. I may have them, but you go online, go to the map. We're going to show you how to do that. And then hover over the map flag And if that's not the right information, I need to know it so I can change it. I believe I have them all updated today, according to the MSFDA Regional Director. All of your departments, by the way, are in a region. 15 regions in the state of Minnesota. You're in one of those regions and you have an MSFDA representative. That representative should be your conduit to information. And you can get the address to them, or you can just simply email it to info@mnfirehire.com. Help us identify your firefighter needs on the MSFDA website. In order to participate in this, I need you to go to the MSFDA website, click on the second tab, or the tab that says CFR Grant, and then there's a survey there. I need you to complete that survey, and it's basically who are you, what department are you on, how many firefighters are you allotted to have, and how many do you have, and how many are you expecting to need in the next 4 years. And I can tell you, for the fire departments that have already answered these questions, there are some fire departments that have a need for almost 50% of their staff in the next 4 years. That's how many they're replacing. It's phenomenal. Keep in touch. Look at the resources and so on. There's our website, info@mnfirehire.com. That's our email, I'm sorry. And we will certainly get to you as much information as we can and give you what you need. So here we are. We're looking at the Minnesota Fire Hire website. And you can see, same name. We just converted the site to also include Spanish. And we're going to try to build those out as we can. The challenge we're having is Natalie's fluent in Spanish, but she and others have to vet that it makes sense to that population. So we have the home page. You can learn more about becoming a firefighter. We have the common requirements to be a firefighter. If you want to know more about more about becoming a firefighter, this is that link that people can submit. We got the history of the fire service, special gear that we wear, just some good history. What type of equipment we use is on here. Talks about the specific, tools of the trade, right? All that cool stuff. We've got a current list of Minnesota fire departments right there, 774 departments. You can sort of see where you are if you're a volunteer. There's 309 volunteer departments, 363 paid on call, meaning they're getting an hourly rate for the job. 86 combination departments, at least one full-time, and 16 career departments, right? So 672 fire departments are paid on call volunteer. That is the majority. We also have a bunch of videos online where you can just go through and the candidate, remember this site is about the candidates. They can sort of see what being a firefighter is all about and see other people's experiences and so on. We do have a blog page. You can contact us immediately. We have a blog. We talk about new firefighter training, and I think the interesting part is I wrote one on how to become a Minnesota firefighter, and that's the one that's getting the most views. So people are interested in becoming a firefighter and becoming part of our team. So let's go to this mapping feature. There's the mug, a little welcome. Let's type in an address of, I'm just going to say Stillwater, Minnesota. Let's go to Stillwater and let's crank in. Ooh, if we go out, you can see all the fire departments right there in Minnesota. You can see the number in the specific area. Let's get over to Stillwater. And I'm looking for that green flag. There it is. So that green flag says There's the city downtown Stillwater. And here is Stillwater, Minnesota. Stuart Glazers, the fire chief down there, doing a great job. If you want to contact him and learn how to become a firefighter, you can call or you can email him. He's part of the capital city region. Now let's go over to Maplewood. I was able to break those all up by station only because I had the station's addresses. And then what I had to do is all of this is tied into a latitude and longitude. So there's Maplewood 1. I thought I missed it. So Maplewood 1, 2, and 3. Any multiple station like Oakdale, I've got you covered, Lake Elmo. I have to not only make sure the information is correct, but I also have to go in and add these stations and find their latitude and longitude and put that in the back end of the computer. You can go over here and we see Deerwood, Crosby's up there, Ironton, go to Pequot Lakes, all the way up to Longville, Walker, LaPorte, the Federal Dam. Let's go all the way up to the top of Minnesota, see who's up there, see if we have any. Oh, how about the inlet? Oh, Brian, if you're on, are you still the guy up there? We want to come see you. So Minnesota Fire Hire is going to travel. We're going to come up and see you and talk about your fire department, get to know who you are. War Road, Roseau, we'll go all the way down, right? So you sort of see, it's interesting to look at too. I think this is the only place in Minnesota that actually has a mapping feature to show who's the contact, right? But we've got Jasper and we've got 4 in this area here. You can see how they're all along the main road of 90. We go up to 60. So all protecting the area. So I want you to go online, type in your address and tell us if that information is not correct. If it's correct, great, leave it alone. If not, let us know. Blog information, people can tell us they want to receive more information, anything we send out. Some testimonials. Here on the left is our Facebook feed. Natalie's pretty proud of how it looks. Apparently in the marketing world, you want your I forget what she calls it, but you want it all sort of to have this feel. And she creates every one of these from scratch. So we're trying to be more diverse. We're trying to be more open. We're trying to celebrate your successes. But she creates them all from scratch and manages it. And over here is her Instagram page and then our sponsor, of course. If you go to the Minnesota State Fire Department Association, they have a new website coming soon. But if you click on the Safer Grant profile, you'll see that that little photo right there may look familiar because that is the brochure we already sent you. But what I want you to do is go down, fill out this contact form. And when you do that, that lets us know you want to participate. You answer the questions. We'll see it pop up in our back end, and we will put you on the list as one being able to receive FEMA funds. And this is what we report back to FEMA for them to see who's participating. So that is it in a nutshell. We're going to stop sharing our screen, and we're going to come back to answering your questions. Typically in a live event, this would be where we break and we answer questions. A lot of the questions that have been coming back, the frequently asked questions are, how do I receive PPE money? Well, you have to be a member of the MSFDA. If not, sign up. I don't know what the fee is. Talk to Dee Dee at the MSFDA. She's the executive director. Reach out to your regional directors or the president of the MSFDA, somebody. Tell them you want to participate, ask them questions, but more importantly, you can come right to us at info@mnfirehire and we will help you like right now, okay? You have to be a member. You have to have already spent the money on the gear. You have to be billed by that vendor that gave you that gear, and you turn that invoice in, that receipt, into the MSFDA and it gets reimbursed. This is a reimbursement process. We don't buy the gear for you. reimburse you for the gear that you already purchased, okay? So the reimbursement purchase for PPE and for health screens comes on a form that the MSFDA has. You have to turn in the form in the invoice. You turn it in DD, I don't know, maybe within a month. Depends on when you turn that in, because I believe their cycle for billing is like on the 15th. If it's before the 15th, or let's just say before the 10th, good chance you'll get it within 30 days. If not, it could be a little bit longer. The key is you get money, free money through this grant. It's a 4-year period. We're here to help. The MSFDA is paying us to monitor the site, to build platforms, to teach some classes, to take some baby steps to make it different. We've never had a statewide platform. We've never had a statewide effort on the recruitment issue. And I've sat on some of the top boards in the state of Minnesota over my career, and I don't hear people talking about recruiting. That needs a change, right? I understand the health issues, the cardiac, mental health. I mean, MinFire and all those guys are doing awesome work. They're awesome. We need all that. But we also need a huge focus on just recruitment in general. And we need our legislators and our policymakers to know that you are struggling. The Minnesota Fire Service tends to fix its own problems, and that is a problem, right? If we need an outlet in the station, what do? We have a work night, we build an outlet even though we're not electricians, but we fix the problem. Nobody knows there's a problem because we fix it all the time, right? But the fire service is changing drastically. I am working with cities that have, fire issues, and we're, working on strategic plans and practices to implement new things over time. I see it changing. It's changing a lot. So we're probably all way behind, and we need to be more upfront with our policymakers. Let them know where you're sitting. Let them know it's a priority. Let them know that you need to maybe even contract with others and share services, or form districts, whatever you need to do to stay afloat for the community. We need to talk about it and get it out front. So that's it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. If you have any questions or comments, reach through us or the MSFDA Executive Director, Dee Dee, and let us know how you're doing, all right? Let us know how you're doing, and if you need any help, we would be happy to help you. But until then, you can get to us from mnfirehire.com, and we're happy to help you. So we'll see you next time. Stay in touch, and good luck in your recruiting program. Nice talking to you.